Good morning. Good morning, dear friends, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tarpon Springs. For those with visual impairment, I am a mid-70s white male with graying hair and beard. My name is Mark Hopkins. We ask anyone speaking today to enunciate clearly, use facial expressions, and in body language for the benefit of those with hearing impairment. As members of the UUCTS, we appreciate our relationship to the lands and waters that we help protect for future generations by paying attention to our habits and respectfully encouraging others. May this ongoing reflection deepen our connection to the ancestral homelands of the Seminole, Tocobaga, Miccosukee, and Muskego peoples upon which we live, worship, and carry out our promises. We offer a warm welcome to guests that are here with us today. We'd like to get to know you better and hope you'll join us after the service for coffee hour and refreshments. Our mission states we are a liberal faith community for all ages, promoting spiritual growth, social justice, and the arts. Today, our guest, Robin Saenger, will join us in a service entitled Creating Peace in Community. Robin is the founding director of Peace4Tarpon, the first grassroots trauma-informed community initiative in the nation. Robin is also an amazing artist whose love affair with glass began as a love of beauty. You'll find the beauty in her work in churches, chapels, as well as public and institutional spaces. Now, I've known Robin practically since we first moved to Tarpon about 14 years ago, and recently I had morning tea with Robin at Urban Grounds and was struck by the breadth and depth of her understanding about what brings peace to our lives. Afterwards, I knew I wanted to continue the conversation. Then it occurred to me, why not share it with my church family and friends as I continue the conversation with Robin? So I invited her. Thank you for coming this morning. We'll continue our dialogue shortly. Our music is provided by our wonderful music director, Bonnie Whitehurst, and our choir. And again, a warm welcome.
Our first hymn is in your gray hymnal, number 388. It's Dona Nobis Pacem, and it is in a round, a 3-part round. The first time, we will sing it all together, and then the second and third times through, the choir must stick to a plan, and you don't have to stick to any plan out there. You just jump on any part that's your favorite. But the second time through begins the round, and the first row will begin part 1, and then when they get to part 2, the back row goes into part 1. When they get to part 2, I begin part 1. So at that point in time, all 3 parts are going. And the round is done 2 times. After the first time, we do it all together. So channel your inner Boy Scout or Girl Scout. Don't know peace, pacem, pacem. Don't know peace, pacem. Everyone on part 2. All sing was harmed during the singing of that song.
Good morning. Am I on good? Yes?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Okay? Yeah?
Great.
Yeah, good. Well, hi.
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 Hello.
Hello. A little bigger than Urban Grounds, but cozy nonetheless.
It is cozy.
Yes. For opening word, what I'm going to do is read a little bit of excerpt that I found on the Peace4Tarpon website and get your thoughts and reaction. On the Peace4Tarpon website, there's an article by Jane Stevens entitled Eye Opener. She tells the story about when she visited Bali and got to know people there, including a man, Made, who was normally a peaceful man, who she witnessed one day kind of at the end of his rope, and he even yelled and struck his child. So she watched him strike his child and kind of went through her mind, what do I do? I know this man, but like she was lost. And then after a short time, he calmed down and shamefully said to her, "Today I hit my child. I must go see the doctor." When she saw him later, she asked what happened, and he said, "The doctor helped me, gave me a prescription for what I need now." She reflected that a culture that frowns upon hitting a child and having a system in place, in this case doctors who are trained to help parents, that's enough to change things. She noted he wasn't carted off to jail. Child Protective Services didn't show up at his doorstep. It was recognized that a child doesn't have the capacity yet to know how to control things, but the adult should, and with proper supports may be able to. So she said it was a lesson, an eye-opener for a system that institutionalized help for overstressed parents. Maybe we can too. So I was thinking how this relates to your work, your passion to create a support system, and I wondered if you could reflect on your eye-openers.
Wow, there have been a lot of them over the years, many of them. It's something that really was very powerful to me was, y'all might remember several years ago, kind of up where the Winn-Dixie is, part of town by Manatee Shopping Village. Across the street from that was a pawn shop and an ammo shop, and it was run by this fella's uncle. And there was a young man, he went to Tarpon High School, and he committed terrible crimes. He actually went to that place, set it on fire. He killed his uncle and his uncle's girlfriend, and it was just a mess. And what was interesting was the whole thing, as a trauma-informed, when you look at things through a trauma-informed lens, you always know there's meaning behind behavior. Nothing just happens at random. So this young man didn't just wake up one day and decide, I think I'll do this thing that's going to terrify the city and, you know, all this. And what the newspaper headlines the next day said, things, you know, people, they interviewed the neighbors of the young man. And the neighbors said things like, well, he didn't have any friends, and we knew that there was something wrong, and we knew, you know, everybody knew, everyone had indicators that there was something not good going on in this particular home. And maybe they didn't know what to do, or what do we do in those types of situations? But what really was interesting to me is David Archie, a former mayor, who's the director of the Union Academy Neighborhood Family Center, and he understands this trauma-informed stuff. He really gets it. And I was having a conversation with him after that happened, and everyone was in shock and horror, and they were like reacting to what had happened. And David looked at me and he said, I wonder what happened to him. Now that's a shift in the lens. That's a shift in knowing that there's something going on behind the scenes that we need insight into. And knowing instantly it's not about the act that this young man committed. It's about having the compassion and the understanding to know that there's something much deeper.
Wow.
And that was powerful to me. Yeah.
Thank you. Gotta like this chalice.
Light the chalice.
The light within us. We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is a beacon we search for the truth. It is warmth in our hearts for love, and it's the energy that propels us into action. May we be kindled by our time together. Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal faith. We will now read together our congregation's covenant. We strive to look for and encourage the best in each other as we move toward justice, peace,
and love for both ourselves and the world.
And when we fall short, we will seek understanding, reconciliation, and a return to covenant.
At this time, we will sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, in the gray hymnal.
Our faith formation leader, Jamie Farley, will join us for our story today. Hey, Jamie.
Hi, Robin. All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today's book is called Peace is an Offering. There will be no pictures up. I think this is a perfect book to read where everyone can close their eyes. It's not a long book, so I'm glad I'm reading it because as a mom of two, a wife, and a student, if I close my eyes right now, I'll probably fall asleep. So, the words are by Annette LeBox, but if you ever want to take a look at the pictures are by Stephanie Gragan. So you can close your eyes if you like, or you can just watch me read the book. Peace is an offering, a muffin or a peach, a birthday invitation, a trip to the beach. Peace is gratitude for simple things, light through a leaf, a dragonfly's wings, a kiss on the cheek, raindrops and dew, a walk in the park, a bowl of hot stew. Peace is holding on to another. Peace is the words you say to a brother. Will you stay with me? Will you be my friend? Will you listen to my story till the very end? Will you wait when I'm slow? Will you calm my fears? Will you sing to the sun to dry my tears? Will you keep me company when I'm all alone? Will you give me shelter when I've lost my home? You might find peace in a photograph or in the deep bloom of a belly laugh. And even in the wake of tragedy, even then you might find her in the rubble of a fallen tower, in the sorrow of your darkest hour, in the hat of a hero, in the loss of a friend. Peace is a joining, not pulling apart. It's the courage to bear a wounded heart. It's a safe place to live. It's the freedom from fear. It's a kiss or a hug when you've lost someone dear. So offer a cookie, walk away from a fight, comfort a friend through the long, dark night, sing a quiet song, catch a falling star. May peace walk beside you wherever you are. The end.
Now in peace, go now in peace. May the light of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the light of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. You may go.
Now is the time in the service when we take our offering for the work and welfare of this church. You may drop your donations in the plate when it is passed or donate online. Your generosity is greatly appreciated.
Peace will come, and let it begin with me. We need peace, and let it begin with me. Oh my is all and hope to control. Oh, let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it be peace, sweet peace. Peace will come, and let it begin with me. Peace, peace will come, and let it begin with you. We need peace, and let it begin with you. Oh, your life is all you know to control. Oh, let your life be lived for the good of your soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace. Peace will come, and let it begin with you. Peace, peace will come, and let it begin with us. We need peace, and let it begin with us. Oh, our lives are all we can hold to control. Oh, let our lives be lived for the good of our souls. Let it bring peace, sweet peace. Peace will come, and let it begin with us. Let it begin with me. Let it begin with you.
So Robin, I first heard the concept of 3 cups of tea while I was sharing tea with you at Echo Bean. I think Urban Grounds is now the meeting place of choice. Would you please explain the meaning so that we might reflect on it during our moment of silence?
Sure. And it's so interesting that you remember that made an impression on you. So the 3 Cups of Tea was a book actually out, I think, when we were meeting, by a fellow named Greg Mortensen. And the premise of it is that in order for us to truly connect, we have to spend time face to face with each other. So having a first cup of tea, you meet as strangers. Having your second cup of tea, your friends. Having your third cup of tea, your family, basically. And there, in the Holy Land, there's a tradition called sulha that is very similar, where people who have grievances meet face to face, spend time together. No one is judged. No one is right and wrong and this and that. There's no back and forth. It's a matter of being together and present with each other. The Navajo tradition of peace building is very similar. But in community, we look at it as connection is our most powerful regenerative. And building those connections, those authentic connections, to where we have a different perspective on our own experiences and the experiences of others, that's what's transformative in community. Like David Archie, knowing instinctively that there was something going on with that young man that was different, you know. So infusing that into our community experience and our connectedness is really powerful. So that's kind of what that is.
Thank you. Thanks. Let's pause for a moment of silence to consider and contemplate.
We all need peace to make our planet thrive, to make our planet thrive, to keep our dreams alive. We all need peace. We all need hope. We all need hope. We all need peace.
Pretty, huh? So, Robin, I know you to be a visionary. I've seen your creative mind and seen it work in many ways. My question is, how did your vision lead to Peace to Tarpon?
Well, I think the earliest answer is just by saying yes to everything. And I've always felt like we're each on a path. We're on a path, and by saying yes to new experiences, it kind of broadens it makes it a little more interesting path. It makes it perhaps more beautiful.
For sure.
And so part of my journey was saying yes to becoming an elected official.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so I went from the world of art, deep into the world of art, to the world of politics and that whole realm. And when I was in that work, I saw how abundant Pinellas County is with resources, and how we have all these agencies and everyone trying to do things and setting up plans and setting up long visions and goals. But really, when it comes down to the basic day-to-day life of people, their struggles, their sorrows, their pains, and difficult situations like child abuse and domestic violence, those numbers keep going up. So there's something very unsettled in the world that was not being addressed. And that's when I learned about trauma. And this was in 2010.
Oh, wow.
So now there's trauma and resilience, and those balance each other out. But back then, it was just trauma, 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 trauma. And it was, real briefly, it was through a study called the ACE study, Adverse Childhood Experience Study. And this was to see if there was any connection between adult physical health and a series of abuse and neglect that happened to a child.
Right.
So there's 10 questions of different forms of physical and emotional abuse and neglect, and it's on our website. And for each one that happened to you, whether it happened once, 100 times, whatever, if it happened, you get a point.
Right.
Or your parents divorced, that's one of them. So basically, a lot of people get 1 point right off the bat, And the results came back after 17,000 people it was a collaboration between Kaiser Permanente, which is a big insurer, and the Center for Disease Control. They were looking at physical health, only physical health. And they found, after these 17,000 respondents, two things. One is that trauma is extremely common. It has no boundaries as far as the folks who participated in this were Kaiser recipients, so they had insurance. Most of them were dual income, 86% white, college educated. So this was like, you would figure these people have it made, pretty much,
Right.
But they didn't. There was a lot of stuff that happened. It just happens to people. So from there, they found direct correlations between COPD, autoimmune diseases, diabetes, all these different things. Not like maybe there's a connection. It's like, yes, there's a connection.
So between trauma and
physical
health.
So if there's that connection, then it started going into what about other things? What if someone experiences this, but also racism, also poverty, also violence, also whatever, community violence? And it quickly went to more of the emotional, mental types of how does that look in the world? And the results that came out of that were like, wow. So that helped me see real clearly that we were missing something in how we were looking at our problems, that we were not looking at unaddressed childhood trauma.
Right.
And that was kind of where we had to start. And then people go, well, we have to look at the parents, and you have to look at the kids, and you have to look at this and that. Well, now we know that with epigenetics, that we actually carry trauma in our DNA from generation to generation. So how do you deal with that? You know, not only your parents were divorced and XYZ happened to you and whatever, but you're also living in a situation that's dire, but also maybe your great-grandparents were in the Holocaust. And maybe, or Native American population, which is, by the way, our Native American population, above and beyond, struggle the most with all of this statistically. So I thought, how as a community could we address this? Not by having, of course, we wanted to bring services. I wanted to bring as many support services as possible to the
like
city.
Band-Aids. That's
Yeah.
It's good. It's unnecessary, but it doesn't.
It doesn't do it, but it's like, how can a community do this? So I pitched it to my fellow commissioners, basically did a presentation for them, a friend of mine did, and said, we need to look at this as a community, as a city, and figure out what we can do as a community, because this is not getting better, it's getting worse. And I saw 3 light bulbs go off. I need 3 votes to get anything done as a commissioner. I saw 3 light bulbs go off, and people were like, that makes sense.
Wow.
So I asked for the city to be our first partner and for us to become a trauma-informed community. Now, I didn't know that, but those words didn't exist up to that point. We were the first. So it's not like we just looked in the guidebook from the other people who did it. We were the first, which was great. As an artist, that gave me so much freedom. It's like, we can do whatever we want. You know, that's the best thing of being an artist, is this unlimited possibility. Yes. But it's not an organization. It's like, what wisdom comes up from the community that is a response to this? Because the community knows, they're the wisdom, they're the juice, they're the whole deal here. And we're a very connected community. We have a sense of ourselves. So that's kind of a long version of how it happened, but we became the first trauma-informed community. And
so what does it come to mean to you and others to be trauma-informed?
To me, it's like you put on the lens, the trauma-informed glasses, and you understand that, first of all, things don't come out of nowhere, that there's always meaning behind behavior, and simple things that, as a community, how can we have that shift in our perspective to where we're more compassionate, to where we take a breath before we get angry at the checkout person at Publix because they looked at us funny, or whatever it is. Just to have
happened to you too, huh?
And instantly it's like, well, that's so it's like, no, maybe you don't know what that person's going through, and that's another piece of it. We're all going through stuff that other people have no idea of it. So giving ourselves as individuals and as a community a little bit of grace while we work to provide services. If people want to have trauma support services, those are available, but also just that connectedness. That's the key.
So I have witnessed Peace4Tarpon over the years evolve and become a bigger, more connected, more influential grassroots organization. My question, though, is how have you evolved? How has being part of Peace4Tarpon changed you?
Wow, hugely, because as coming out of the world of art, getting into politics, that was a shocker. And that was, big lesson, life lessons and many things to experience. But I also had no credentials as far as, I'm not a psychologist, so it's just learning about things.
Maybe to your advantage.
Maybe, I don't know. So my understanding of trauma and how that looks in the world and what we can do as a community has evolved, and it still evolves. I learn new things every day about, and new ideas, and now it's like more the community coming up with their response, which is what we want. Not me to say, I think we should do this, that, or the other, but for individuals who know their needs, they know, have ideas on how to change things, like Jean talked about with the Memory Cafe. That was one community member who was a caregiver for someone with dementia. And when someone comes to us with an idea that's good for the community, and when she shared the statistics of how many people in Pinellas County suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's, that group of issues, was it 17,000 in Pinellas County, 600,000 in the state of, I mean, lots and lots. That's becoming a number one health concern. So when someone comes forward with, I want to do this to help, yay. So, you know, seeing that type of stuff emerge too is really, really powerful.
I think one of the earliest things you taught me or told me about Peace for Tarpon was it was capacity. That Peace for Tarpon brought capacity. So if you had an idea, here's a place you could engage and, you know. I guess the question that floats around, especially when you talked about how prevalent trauma is can trauma be addressed? Can trauma be healed?
That's a very, and that was a very fascinating thing to grow in understanding of as well. So trauma can be, first of all, trauma is sensory. It depends on the person, how they experience it. So if something happens to you, the same thing happens to me. I may be devastated, you might be okay. You know, so you can't say because this happened to me, that person must be feeling as I feel. It's a very individual response. And we have many services, many mental health professionals. Lizzie from Rainbow Family, she brought in a piece that was much, much needed to be a positive response to the LGBTQIA community. So yes, it can be healed. There are trauma-specific therapies. One of them is called TIR, Traumatic Incident Reduction. One of them is called EMDR, eye movement, rapid desensitization. Now those things work, and those will take a traumatic experience and take it from it bothers me this much to where I remember it, but I don't have that response to it anymore.
Well, you started out explaining the sensory connections.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. But that's not for everybody. So as a community, our job is not to see how many people we can get into trauma-specific therapies, because some people will never, ever, ever want to look at that, never want to deal with it, and we've got to be compassionate, welcoming, understanding, engaging, and provide other ways for that person to connect and heal that might not deal with that. But regardless, trauma can be healed, yes, but this world is a traumatic place to be. You know, I mean, many of us are re-traumatized every day when we watch the news, you know, and we know all the reasons why, you know, and so it's an ongoing journey to me, healing is an ongoing, lifelong process. So it's not so much, well, I've gone to therapy for specific traumas, and it's very helpful. Hearing other people's traumas will give you trauma. When people tell you about the horrible stuff that happened, and so you know, I seek out therapy when that happens.
Trauma, right?
Secondary trauma, exactly. So yes, it can be healed, and yes, there's hope, but it always comes back to that connection. And I see it basically as love. That connection is rooted in love, and that love is the all-powerful healer. So the more we can manifest and share that with each other, the better. And it's not easy, but that's our job, I think.
I was about to try to jokingly say, so there's a flu vaccine and a COVID vaccine. Is there a trauma vaccine? But maybe there is then. The trauma vaccine is compassion and love, right?
Yes. And anything that connects us with compassion and love is so helpful. Yes.
Okay, so you've sort of referenced it, so I want to ask, state of the world, things bring us down. We all know, you know, any version you want to apply to this, it's things are tough. How do you stay hopeful? How do you keep yourself in a mindset that says, I can still do this Peace for Tarpon work?
Well, it's not.
Well, sorry.
It's not like I'm at this place and it's all fine. First of all, I don't watch the news that much because I think that is giving my energy to something that I don't see that there's a particular solution to. It just builds discouragement and builds that connection. It's the me, them. It's like these people are doing that and these people are doing this wrong and that. What about me? It's like if we want to solve like the choir sang, if we want to solve the problems in the world, it begins with us. Have I at least looked at my own trauma history? Have I done anything whatsoever to process it in whatever way I choose? Whether it's with a faith community, whether it's with our loved ones, whether it's with a professional therapist, whether it's through art, yoga, meditation, breath work, any pick one from column A and one. It's like a big smorgasbord of possibilities, and that gives me hope. Now, I do firmly believe that when we are discouraged, discouragement breaks our connection with each other. Discouragement is not healthy. It's easy to fall into discouragement, and I urge people to be encouraged. Peace is possible. We can be a peaceful community. We can be, not that nothing bad will ever happen here, but we can be that community that through our connection shines light on these things.
Well, that struck me that discouragement breaks connection. That rings true. And so anything that we can do to bring us more connected, that's what you've been saying, makes a difference.
Yes.
Can a church be trauma informed?
Anybody, any individual, any collective. Now, a lot of churches and faith communities, the rabbi, the imam, the minister, the pastor, the priest, whatever, that is sometimes the go-to person. So it's kind of incumbent on the leader of a faith community to understand how to truly help the people that come to them. So I think faith communities are right there in the very, very front bit of that. But y'all have done work on that. You have done with the welcoming community. You've done work with your covenant. You do work with social justice. You do work with the arts. So you are, I hereby proclaim, as the ruler of Oz.
Well, like you said about yourself, I think it's a work in progress. And if we stay attuned and work at it, what do you see, and you would have a particular vantage point on this, is the intersection between art and being trauma informed?
Art and trauma informed. I think art is a really great way to process trauma. And whether it's through art therapy. I love art therapy. I mean, just if you have an art therapist in your world, go occasionally and do some art therapy. Art is so healing. And when we had the thing up here where people talked about their gifts in the world, that many of them talked about processing their personal trauma through their art. So it's creative. If we're going to be a trauma-informed community, we have to be nimble. We have to be responsive to what's coming up at the time, not be so rigid in our view of how things look that we can't be flexible, that we can't pivot and do a wild dance to another area of the work.
When I've heard people who know a lot more than me, like Greg, discuss that piece of art, that's when I was thinking of the question, the intersection of art and trauma, to depict hope in the midst of destruction, to depict a ray of sunshine and in the midst of kind of coming to terms with what could be, falling apart around you. And I think that is true.
And George Ennis Jr., in each one of his paintings, there is light. There is that light source, whether it's the light in the forest that's coming from somewhere you don't see, or the light over the city, or whatever. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. What question did I not think to ask that you would have liked to have answered that would shed light?
Really, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, in conversations it just flows. It's not like you sit when you have a cup of tea with someone. You don't.
Well, I wish these people knew more about. They're basically just sitting there waiting for my wisdom on.
Your wisdom?
Well, no. They don't. Okay.
Oh, it's
That's good
the
enough.
important things have been said that resonate with me, that speak to my heart, and that is we have to learn to. I think it even says in the Bible somewhere, love one another. That might be misquoting, but I think it says that somewhere. So that's it. If we can manage that.
I will add one piece of potential wisdom. So when I was with Robin on the board of Peace4Tarpon, we were involved in a grant called MARC grant, but it was Mobilizing Action for Resilient Communities.
Yes.
And we made a trip to Philadelphia for a conference. And one of the speakers at the conference was giving out lots of wisdom and information. And I said to her, look, my trouble is back in Tarpon Springs when I try to explain trauma to my friends, my buddies, my golf buddies, they don't get it. It goes over their head. Is there a way that I can explain trauma that people will get? And she said, yes. Do you know how to be kind? I said, well, I think so. She said, then do that. If you're kind, they will understand kindness. And if they have a struggle, they will turn to you. And during that struggle, you can explain to them there's a way for you to manage it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was that wise?
That was very
Okay.
wise. That was a bunch of wisdom right there.
All right. Well, we'll stop here and invite the choir back if you guys are coming back.
Mark, Carol wants you.
I'm interested in ways that people can learn about what you're doing and help spread the word.
Ways that people can learn about Peace4Tarpon.
We have actually in this very church, we meet once a month. Our next meeting is December the 5th. It's open to everybody. So you'll find many community members there. And it's not about how many meetings you go to. It's about, do you get this? Do you understand what we're trying to do? And our motto is offer the peace you can. Everyone has a piece to offer to the solution. Everybody, no exceptions. And
the website?
The website.
Peace4Tarpon.
Facebook
Peace
page.
with a numeral 4,
Yep.
Tarpon. Yeah. And on there, Robin mentioned the ACEs, the Adverse Childhood Experiences. You can see that original questions that prompted the study she talked about. There's lots of good information.
There's a lot of good information. And when you take that, that goes to University of Florida, who we partner with, and that data is collected. We had an intern. We've had, so the ACE questionnaire originally had 17,000 respondents. We've had 45,000, and this was a couple of years ago. And of those, we had an intern who vetted to make sure they weren't duplicated, that they were all complete, that they were all whatever. Ended up with 35,000 solid responses. And from the original ACE study back in the 90s, it really hasn't changed that much. So we got work to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Our final hymn is number 100 in your gray book. I've got Peace Like a River, number 100. And we will be singing verses 1, 2, 3, and 6.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got strength got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul.
Hallelujah. So on the Peace4Tarpon website, it does say offer the PIECE/PEACE, offer the peace that you can. I thank you, Robin, for sharing with us today and giving us lots to think about. So whether it's from kindness or an act of resistance that may put less traumatic events in the lives of people, I think we all have a part we could play. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mark. It was fabulous. Appreciate you.
All right. We're done.
We're done. The end. The end. You may leave.
Our closing music is Let There Be Peace on Earth.
I was hoping they'd do that one. We extinguish this flame, but not its meaning and mission in our hearts. Our time together has come to an end. Go in peace, be of service to one another, and may you move through the world in love for all your days. By Maggie Lovins.